introductory lecture was originally delivered over Marratech by Anders Erikkson of Orebro University to an audience of students from Stanford University, Orebro University, and Uppsala University on December 3rd, 2007.
For the introduction, I would like to focus on the topic of persona and the rhetorical situation. And on the whiteboard, there should be a PowerPoint that says rhetorical situation, slide 1. I hope you can see that. A rhetorical situation is the relationship between the speaker and the audience. That relationship where the message is formed and created. So it's a relationship term. And in the written discourse, the rhetorical situation can be found in the text, between the writer, the text, and the audience. The rhetorical situation, according to the American rhetorical theorist Lord Bitzer, has 3 components. We talk about the exigence, and the audience, and the constraints. The exigence, Bitzer defines as an imperfection marked by urgency. There's something that needs to be done, something that occasions the speaker to grab the microphone and to address the audience. The exigence is the reason for the speech. Why does the speaker feel that he or she needs to speak? There's something urgent that he or she wants to say. The exigence can often be conventional. You can feel the urge to speak when you are supposed to speak. For example, at a ceremony, a funeral, you might be expected to speak. It could be conventional. But it could also be a real situation where you are urged because there's something that has happened that makes you feel that you have to speak. In the rhetorical audience, the second component of the rhetorical situation is not the same as the historical audience. Not everyone in the room is a rhetorical audience. The rhetorical audience is those that can affect a change in the situation, those that can do something about the situation. And when we look at the audience, we can look at a primary audience that might be those present in the room, those primarily addressed. But there can also be a secondary audience, those to whom the speaker wants to address the message in a second way. For example, when a political leader addresses an audience, he might speak to those people in the crowd, but he might also want to address the world, political leaders of the same party, political leaders of an opposing party, other decision-making powers that might be a secondary audience instead of the primary audience that are in the crowd in front of him. The third component of the rhetorical situation is the constraints. Constraints is something that constrains the rhetorical situation, that hinders it. Obstacles, hindrances, circumstances that make it difficult or that influence the way that the speaker can speak. Something have happened previously, and Bitzer defines the constraints as persons, events, objects, and relations that have the power to constrain the decision and action needed to modify the exigence. So something that constrains, hinders, obstacles in the situation. When the speaker addresses his or her audience in this particular rhetorical situation, he might have a rhetorical problem. The primary difficulty for the speaker in this rhetorical situation. What is that? Are there beliefs, values that are in the way for him to convey the message? Does the audience have a strong feeling about the position that speaker is taking? Is the subject sensitive? Are they hostile to him? Is it expensive? What is the primary difficulty for the speaker in this rhetorical situation? And we're also going to look particularly on ethos tonight. And in Envision, Lisa O'Brien and Christine Alfano define the ethos as a speaker's character, as a mode of persuasion. How the speaker portrays himself, how his character comes forth to the others, to the audience. And Aristotle finds three parts of ethos. The personal character, who the person is, his virtues, if he's a good person, a bad person, what previous acts he has done or she has done. Competence, knowledge, is the second part. Does the speaker know what he's talking about? Is he competent? Does he know his stuff? The third component is goodwill. Is the speaker genuinely interested in his audience? Does he will them well? Does he really want to establish a good relationship to his audience? Persona is closely connected to ethos. If ethos is a way of persuading the audience, persona is the way the author, the speaker, portrays himself to the audience. This is the image projected to others. It's not quite the same as who you truly are, but it's the image that you project in this particular situation. It's a choice that the speaker makes. He portrays himself as strong, as knowledgeable, as one of them. He dresses in a particular way to project an image of himself or of herself. And as you will look at these political leaders, political speeches, those speakers have deliberately chosen to portray themselves in different ways. So, I think that's enough for now. So, thank you, and have a good group work.